Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, we have my co-host, Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yeah, hi.
Okay, great. And we have my other co-host, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Good. Now, today, our chakra guinea pig, so to speak, is a lady named Donna Spangler. I read your bio, and I'm not going to read through all of it, but I will tell you a funny story about you that involves your good friend Jill St. Mark's. I was telling your good friend Jill St. Mark's, and I said, Jill, I mean, it's like you move a mile a minute. I mean, you're going crazy. 1 minute you're doing this, 1 minute you're doing that. How do you move a mile a minute? And I was asking Jill St. Mark's this, and Jill St. Mark's says, well, if you think I move a mile a minute, my friend Donna Spangler moves 1,000 miles a minute.
Oh, my God, that's so funny. Gosh.
And I was like,
wow.
it just basically what she said that, yeah, it's like, oh, for goodness sake, she's like, how her voice was, she has this fucking thing, And that's when I realized that, oh, God, I mean, you had pretty much moved pretty quick. You've been taking karate your whole life and everything. So it was, I just wanted to let you know, and here's how this is going to work. We'll talk, me and Barbara will talk to you afterwards, but Kelly is going to be the one that's going to clean your chakras. Do you have Donna's picture, Kelly?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, what we're going to do is me and Barbara, we're going to kind of take a scene we're going to watch, and then Kelly will kind of take over. Are you okay, Kelly?
Yeah, thank you. I was just
All right, go ahead, Kelly, take the floor. Use your mic.
All right, thank you. How are you doing, Donna?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Are you comfortable where you are? Kind of like stretched out, maybe on your back?
Yes, I am. I'm on my back. I have a pillow on. I have a kitty just making noises right next to me. Listen to her. That's my little Jenna.
What a little fur monster.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
That sounds like how I was, right, Kelly? I said I have my kitty here, and I was laying down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm going to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and that way you're not left in the dark as to what's going on. I don't know how much you know about chakra cleansing, so, if I tell you something that you already know, it's for your benefit and the benefit of anyone listening that might not be familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but basically we have 7 main chakras, and they're in an alignment down the middle of our body, and each one is connected with different systems in the body, different ways that they work together, different organs, different thought processes, and sometimes like a trauma or an event or something can get in the way, or the way that we've processed something, or negative emotions, and it can cause one or more to end up being either blocked or have negative energy stuck in there. So what I do is I set free any negative energy, and I unblock so that you're able to reach your full potential, because these do feed all those different systems and the way things work together. And then, it's up to each person to maintain and do positive things, and to have positive thinking, and to do healthy things in their lives, like exercise and, not smoke or not drink, or, take in, nature and clean air, and, the choices of things that we consume. It all, gets reciprocated by how our body will respond. in our psyche and our spirit. And so once everything is cleansed, then any healing that you need to do is something that you do, but it's a lot easier to do once you're able to be fully open and have that energy flow and having the good things coming to you. Does that make sense?
Sounds good to me. It does, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, all right. Awesome. Now, what I do, it's just, something I do, but if you wanted to do this along with me, it might be a good practice for you. I don't know if you meditate or do any of those things normally, but this is something I do to focus my energy. So it's not going to affect it either way, whether you go along and do this part with me or not. But what I do is I take my hands and I rub them vigorously together so that I start to feel them get warm and tingle. And then I stop and bring them about shoulder width apart and then get closer and closer till I cup them and they're not quite together. They're about 4 or 5 inches away, and I start to feel resistance. And this might take a few times. And if somebody isn't into energy work, they haven't practiced it, or they don't meditate, then it might take them more than a few times. But each person,
Is it like a swirling thing in your hand?
It kind of is. It's almost like a tickly, kind of like your hands don't quite want to go together, kind of a thing. So it can be swirly, it can be tickly. That's forming an energy ball. And people that are really sensitive and trained in this kind of thing can throw it against the wall and see it flat and, like a little bit of energy. So, it's just kind of like something I do to kind of bring the energy forth into my hands. But, were you able to feel like a swirling?
Yeah, it's gone now, but...
Oh, wow. You are an energy sensitive person. That's really great. Wow.
Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah. Wow. This is I'm seeing like a trend because I don't know what it is with the Playboy Playmates that we've had on here, but anybody that's connected to Barbara seems to be like, a natural like energy person. It's really cool. Like we're all on the same wavelength.
That's good to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're surrounding yourself with good people that are all high energy and all positive. So, that helps a lot. Because, I'm finding that this show, we boost each other up so well. And we can understand, so well what the other one's going through. That it's really like a huge support network, really, and community. So,
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. You're one of us. I may not be a playmate, but the energy thing, we've all got that apparently. So this first one is the root chakra, and it's basically if you had been sitting, it would be where you would be sitting on, because it's at the base of the spine, and it's the most primal and important energy center. It's the instinct for survival and safety. So sometimes things will get lodged in here. But before I go into what could happen and things like that, I want to check it out and see what we may or may not be dealing with. So I have a gemstone on a little pendant. And, the person that taught this to me went, and he's a licensed massage therapist. They did energy work, and honestly, you could use a piece of dental floss and a paper clip. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. But I'm running my fingers down it and putting any residual energy into the ground so that we're only picking up on you. And if it goes up and down or side to side, it means that there's something off. that it's either blocked or there's negative energy trapped in there. But if it goes in a circle, then that's positive energy flowing the way it should be. And I can tell like how it's doing it as to whether it or not it is like a healthy flow or, you know, if it needs work. So let's see if you're ready. Let's see what we're dealing with.
Okay.
All right. It's going in a circle. Oh, this is beautiful. It's doing what I'm calling helicoptering. So it's making it very hard for me to hang on to because it's doing a circle that's so big, it's blurry and it's horizontal. Wow. Yeah, that's usually one that people have trouble with because it's grounding. It's like bringing you back to the earth. It's connecting you with nature and connecting you with, it's basically the foundation that the other ones are on. So when this tends to be off, others tend to be off. And being that it's like the survival instinct, if people have been in a traumatic situation or they've, feared for their safety, then it will show up here. If they haven't resolved and been able to efficiently deal with that. So, you're doing really well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Number 2 is the sacral, and that is basically located between the bikini line and the belly button, and that's emotional body, sensuality, and creativity. Let's see where you are with that, Donna. This one is doing really well. It's not quite going, zipping as, fast as the other one right off the bat, but it got there. So what that's telling me, being as it's really healthy and it's doing really well, is that there might be something that's coming up, let me see, in some sort of emotional. I'm feeling your excited nervousness. That's really cute. Let me see what else. I'm feeling a real passion about something, about life and excitement, like new beginnings. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think.
Good. I'm feeling a lot of just huge opportunities that you've already done a lot in your life, but I'm feeling like you're wanting to reach further and that you're reaching out into avenues that other people haven't really tread on before. You're kind of like wanting to break free and do things that kind of like a pioneer in a way, like, but more like aimed toward an angle of something that people don't normally think about, or like going about something just slightly different, just to be, you like to make people think a lot. Like, it feels like when you are doing something, like writing something or you're in something, that you like to provoke a lot of thought, that you're very clever, and that you like to, things aren't just completely straightforward all the time, because you want a person to leave that experience and take something with them that's on a personal level. Does that make sense?
It could, yeah. I mean, I think I know what you mean, but I think so. I'm not 100% sure about the pioneering thing because it's stuff that I'm excited about has been done, but the only thing I can say is that maybe perhaps the way I'm thinking about it might be different. I don't know.
I think it's the way you're thinking about doing it that makes you stand out apart from everybody else, And I feel like you've done some things before they were popular, before they really got their legs and took traction under them. I feel like you had the instinct and the forethought to come up with some things before some other people did. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So to me, that's the pioneering spirit, to go into something that you know is going to be unique and different, and then other people follow. Kind of like the explorers, checking out new lands, and then other people are like, what? You could do that? And then they follow. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's kind of like, you're the independent person that is kind of like the leader of the pack.
Ooh, I like that.
So yeah, that's what I'm getting when I get in there and I check out, the emotional body. I don't see any problems with your creativity. I don't see any problem with the sensuality aspect that comes along with the sacral. It's just, I feel like big things have happened for you and are going to continue. I feel like in the next 6 to 9 months, there's going to be a big project that takes off, or a big break with something. It's going to be like a starting point where you take that on and there's no looking back. It's like it's going to be huge success and growth for you.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would be, prepared for that. It might be something you're working on, but it might be something that you didn't realize was going to become big. It might be a new opportunity. I'm not really sure, because it just feels like there's a big celebration in like 6 to 9 months.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I like
so
that.
Me too. I'm excited for you. I want to see what this is.
I'll keep you posted through Barbara if we don't.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, because I'm like, hey, this looks huge. What is this? Yeah, I know you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. And I feel like, are you the kind of person that takes on more than most people?
Possibly. I mean, I don't think I do sometimes, but I might possibly. I don't like to. I like to do a lot of different things. I don't want to just not have anything in the pot going on. Just I do like to take on things.
I feel like you kind of go in different directions at the same time. Like sometimes you take on more than one thing, but you're never bored, and you don't understand people that are.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something that I can do. So between my animals and my projects and the other things I'm doing to try to secure my future, I feel like, I've got a full plate in my, my friends and loved ones and parents. I have a pretty doggone full plate, I would say.
Yeah, I don't sense that you're the kind that just sits back and relaxes and watches the world go by. I think you would think that would be a complete waste of time unless you're on a vacation on a beach.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, that's the sense I'm getting. And let's see. The next chakra is the solar plexus, and that's located between the belly button and the breastbone. And that's personal power, self-esteem, warrior energy, and the power of transformation. Let's see what we find here. It's a healthy circle. It could go faster and bigger, but it's still like big and healthy. It's staying pretty steady. I mean, it was speeding up a little bit, but it's not going, full force like the other ones. I mean, it's still very healthy. Let's see what I find in there. It's weird. It's like, are you a spiritual person?
Sometimes I get fearful. I think it has to do with my parents because they're a little negative. I mean, I'm for the most part pretty positive, but it could be because of that. Who knows? But sometimes I get fearful about certain things, but it's usually not like I'll just pummel through any fears that I have usually.
Okay. Because, I was getting a little bit of hesitation with that I think they're not holding you back. It's just that, sometimes those old tapes come back in our mind of, some of the things we heard while we were growing up. And then we have to replace that with more positive. So that, I think, is, that would affect the self-esteem and personal power. But I feel like your warrior energy kicks in, gets the job done, and I feel like you're going to have a spiritual awakening where more self-love, more free-flowing, more elevating yourself, and that it's going to help with your power of transformation. If you can take just 10 minutes a day and do like a walking meditation. Maybe you go on a nature walk and you don't say anything and you allow thoughts to go in and come out, and without judgment, without hanging on to them, you just let them go free and, float away. It's hard to start with meditation, but sometimes that's why I like the moving aspect, or people can do things like adult coloring books. And I feel like you need to take more time out for you to nurture yourself because, I know you don't like to slow down, but sometimes we just need to do that to keep ourselves, empowered and going forth with, all the vitality that we can have. And so I feel like, when you go on this journey, some things might feel foreign to you, but you're going to get a bigger understanding of yourself. And it's going to be a big, boost. It can be kind of weird at times when we go deep into ourselves. And that doesn't mean we have to cut off other people or cut off anything. It just means, maybe 10 minutes a day, you do something, a bubble bath, relaxing music, something to nurture yourself. And because I feel like you're really healthy and you really do a lot for other people and your animals and all that. And, you're doing really well with nurturing yourself. It's just sometimes you just need a little extra. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty good. I do take hot baths and I do take walks and stuff like that when I can, which, a few times a week. But I always, I'm fine with taking a little extra time to just relax.
Okay. Yeah, I think you'll have more creative juices flowing and things like that. And it's all everything's related, and it's just, a matter of balance. And I think you don't have a problem with balance, or you wouldn't be able to be as successful as you are. But, everybody needs to take out a little extra time for themselves sometimes. And, this is a really good time for that. Like we're coming into a time where we're reaping what we sow, and we're all coming into like a harvest, time where all the efforts that we've been putting in for the last few years are starting to emerge. They're starting to come forth. So yeah, it's but you are having some exciting things happening in the future to look forward to. Just, make sure that your foundation is built strong before they do, and you'll be great. You'll do wonderfully. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next one is the Heart Chakra, and that's the opening of feeling, compassion, the capacity to love, and it doesn't like any conflict. Now let's see where we are. Oh, okay, this is the one we need to work on. This is doing a definite up and down.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah. All right, let me see what we find when we get in there. Oh, I'm feeling that there's like conflicting feelings. Like, is there somebody or some people in your life that aren't always fully supportive of what you're doing, or they don't always understand?
Yeah, probably. Possibly, yeah.
Okay, or they don't think that you can do it, so they're kind of like, why bother?
I'm not sure if that's the feeling. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Might be a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah?
Yeah, that, they wish that they could do the things that you're accomplishing. And, I'm getting the sense that somebody is wanting some credit for how you've become a success. Like, like, hey, I helped you, or I helped raise you along the way to help you become the person that you are, and they want some, they're feeling that, and that they want some acknowledgement. And I'm not sure that it's really theirs to ask for, but because you've done this on your own.
Because I'm not sure I would. That seems completely foreign to me. Who, like, is it a family member, or is it like where?
It feels like a family member that's quiet, doesn't normally say anything, and they're like, I would just like some recognition. That's kind of like what I'm getting. But it's not meant in a negative way. It's just, it's not like somebody menacingly like hanging over you saying, you wouldn't have gotten there without me. It's not that. It's just, they want.
Do you know like what age range or what? Do you know any? Can you tell me any more about that? Because I'm kind of at a loss for this.
I would say like your parents' age, and it could have been like your parents. It could have been like an aunt or uncle or supportive friend of the family. I just feel like they kind of I don't know. I just feel like they kind of want to be recognized for helping you get there. And I'm not really sure, whether it was financially or, cheering you on or helping you get, in your formative years. Like, I mean, it could even be a teacher. And I hate to be this vague, but it's like they felt like they had a hand in getting you there.
God, I'm so, like, I can't think. I mean, I don't think it's my parents, either one of them, and I don't really know anybody that I can think of offhand. I mean, I'm kind of. I mean, I don't know. Like,
it wouldn't be like a teacher or a tutor or a grandparent or
parents are dead.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I mean, could it be my significant other, my sweetheart? I mean, I don't know.
It's possible if they feel like they're kind of in your shadow, and I don't like to use that word, but if they're kind of like a background supporter and they don't, get the limelight, it might be that they're okay with that because that's where they want to be, but maybe they feel like your success is partly their success, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I mean, they're happy for you.
It has to be my significant other, I would think, because that would make more sense maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, they don't resent you or anything. It's just that, they crave a little bit, it feels like, of like, not they're not trying to keep score and say, well, I did this for you. They're not doing that at all. It's just, sometimes I don't want to say they don't feel appreciated because you do demonstrate that quite well, but I don't know if they are entirely okay being in the background all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a little bit of sense.
Okay.
I think that makes some sense, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they're not wishing anything harmful. They're not angry. They're not resentful. It's just, sometimes I think they feel kind of like wallpaper. I don't want to say that like in a negative way. It's just, like they're in the background and that's where they don't want to be in the spotlight, but, yet, I feel like they want to feel special too.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And yeah, and you make them feel special. It's just that, that yeah, they kind of want to be known as the other half sometimes.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
then I will do my best to make that happen.
All right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, just, do little things, show that they're there and you appreciate them being there, and that them being there and cheering you on and being supportive means the world to you. And, that's pretty much all you really need to do. And they'll be fine, It's just, sometimes we get caught up in life and I don't know, it just, sometimes things could be expressed but we don't think about it at the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes people happy to know that you actually think about it and the person that you're talking about, which I think it has, I think I know how, I think I know, I think I understand. So that's good.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, I think it's a beautiful relationship. I just, I think that, sometimes things need to be said or demonstrated and to show more often than we automatically do, yeah, and they know that you're loved and adored and you have fans and they don't want to get in the way of that.
Okay. That's good. That's sweet.
Yeah, it feels healthy to me. The next one, let me double check and see if that one's going. Oh, yeah, that one is doing what the other ones did, where I can't see it. It's going in a blur because it's so fast. So yeah, that's definitely, we got in there. And the throat chakra is the fifth one, and that one is the throat area, and it's our ability to manifest and express your truth in the world. And let's see. Okay, that one started off a little bit wobbly and slow, and now it's going really fast. And let me see what I find, because that wobbly at first was kind of, do you sometimes like feel something but you're afraid to say it because you're afraid it might come out the wrong way? Like that, like, I know there's like the public self, the public media self. Do you ever have like, you're afraid like the media is going to run with something if you say something and you're not like guarded how you say it?
Well, when I say things in, say, for example, in the media, or or if I write something or put it out there for the public, I do choose my words because these days you just can't be saying things in a way that it could offend people, because you just see how people twist things around. So you have to just say them in the best possible politically correct way. That's the way I am with the public, because I wouldn't want to offend people,
Yeah.
And not that I would say anything to offend people, but you just never, I always think about it just in case I don't, because you never know. It's just, I don't want to hurt, offend, or make anybody feel uncomfortable. So yes, I do guard what I say. I do guard what I say in terms of whatever I feel should be said, so that it's not going to do that, offend, hurt, disrespect, or people might misconstrue or not understand.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah, because there can be misunderstandings, misinterpretations, miscommunications, and then being in the spotlight, that could really make things go awry for a while, or be like nobody wants to be in the tabloids, things like that.
Not that I'm in the tabloids at all, but it's just the thing about it. Even in my life, with people, in any way, people especially that aren't really, really close to me, I just don't want to talk about things that could possibly be offensive, or just.
Oh yeah, like the two things you definitely don't talk about are religion and politics. So.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I find myself that I will speak about those things with people that I know have similar feelings about things, but you're absolutely right. These days it's just, there's so many different, it's like an accident. There could be 20 people seeing the same accident, and there's 20 different stories, and there's just 20 different things that they're going to pick up on. So is it right or wrong? Well, each person has their interpretation of what's happened or what's going on. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's very right. Some people base it on, well, does this look like what I've seen before? Does it sound like it? Can I put this to something and relate it to something else? Is there a pattern here? And, I was picking up on that, having to choose your words carefully, that you're trying to remain neutral in a lot of things in the public eye. And I feel like that's really good because, honestly, I stand up for things that I believe in, but, myself, but I also try to remain a very neutral party because I don't want to offend anybody or hurt anyone's feelings, or, I don't want to feel like I'm passing judgment or somebody else is going to pass it on me. And so, if I do everything and I'm careful with the words, but I do things with positivity in mind and an open heart and an open mind, then, and I feel like you do that too.
Sure.
That, you could be home by yourself and think, oh my gosh, that person was really blah, blah, blah. Wow. I don't want to be around that one again. But you're not going to say anything in public or act that way. Maybe somebody was really rude or they were obnoxious or negative, and you didn't want to really be around that, but you were polite and people didn't pick up on it.
Yes.
Because, I feel like you rise above situations, which is really good.
Thank you.
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
You're welcome. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's doing so much better now. That throat one, and it's sometimes it's really helpful to be validated that you're going the right direction and that you're handling things in the most balanced way. That has the best outcome possible. So, the next one is the third eye, and that's our intuition and our patterns of learning and memory skill sets. Let's see how that. Oh, okay. That was a little cautious, but it's definitely full out bloomed into blur and going doing the helicoptering where it's totally horizontal. So
yes, that's good, huh?
That's really good. And so when you get gut feelings, go with the first thing that you feel. Like if you feel like something doesn't set right, it's because it's not. But I feel like you trust that you really have a head on your shoulders, and you can trust in, what you're feeling, what you're sensing about something. I don't feel like you second guess yourself very much. Am I right?
Not really. I just, sometimes I do, but I usually just go back to what it is that I think, I pretty much do.
You're very perceptive, and you do pick up a lot on things that other people may miss. So that's good too. And it helps you to avoid situations too, that you wouldn't want to be in. Let's see. The last one is the Crown Chakra, and that's the access to the higher states of consciousness, being open to what is beyond our understanding. It's also our connection with the universe and God, if you believe in God. Not everybody does. Higher power. The connectedness that we all have is living beings with vibrational energy. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is going really, really well. It was a little hesitant for just like half a second, but I feel like it's a really strong thing. Like, it's really good that your root was strong because that grounds you in reality and earthly things, but it's more rare to have a very strong crown chakra that also opens you up to the unlimited universe and knowledge and spirituality and just that interconnectedness with others, because it's hard for people to reach this point if they're stuck on one of the rungs of the ladder below them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So, wow. What I'm going to do is going to go through them quickly just to make sure nothing got, bumped or, knocked into the next one or whatever. Just make sure we're still doing okay. Root Chakra is looking really good. Sacral is looking really good. Solar Plexus is looking really good. The Heart, which was the only one that you had trouble with, is doing really well. The Throat one is doing really well. I would say the Heart and the Throat are the ones that so far they're doing super. There is room for improvement in those slightly.
Okay.
Yeah. The third eye is really well. Crown is super. So yeah, I think it has to do with
As long as
heart
my crown is good.
Yay, she's got a great crown. It's beautiful. But yeah, I think that just has to go with like expressing yourself when you're in private, and you know, and that it's a balance when it's out with other people and in the public eye. So yeah, it's those are going to be a little bit challenging, but I see you coming out on top with a lot of things, so that's really good.
Yeah, are you kidding? That makes me very happy. Thank you for that information.
Oh, you're welcome. Did you feel anything like while I was doing them? Did you feel any like butterflies, or some people feel gas? they feel like tingly.
No, I
or
didn't.
Wait, Kelly, did you go back over them?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
The thing I felt in the beginning was the little in the bowl, like a little energy going around in the bowl, like a little ball of energy going around in the bowl. That's what I felt. And then after that, it was just kind of, I was excited to hear the reading.
Oh, okay, that's perfect, because I didn't really have to pull anything out. I didn't have to pull out any negative energy or anything, and that's usually when it has like a weird feeling, is when I'm pulling it out, but you didn't really have any. So, yeah, I just didn't know, but I'm glad you felt that call. That was awesome.
Are you there, Barbara?
Hello?
No, that wasn't me. I had it on mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the question?
We're done. She's done with the chakra.
Oh, I think that's really gone great. How do you feel, Donna, about?
I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm great. I'm, there's.
Okay. You feel good.
You're pretty
I just want to
spot
ask,
on.
do you find this to be interesting? And I mean, what do you think about your reading?
I like it. It was nice to hear, and it was inspirational, and it also, actually, when you hear such positive things and positive things are done to you, I think it gave me a level of energy, an extra jolt of energy.
Oh, good.
Yes, and inspiration, right? I felt inspired.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It does. How could it not, right? So it's positive.
Yeah, very positive. It's nice to be able to get that positive energy, because it just confirms, also what she was saying confirms what I have been feeling, which is, that I feel that I'm going to have some really big things happening soon.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It does confirm. Yeah. It is a confirmation. It is. It really is. And then it leads to more opening spiritually. And, you were saying that you weren't brought up that way, but now you are open to it. So, yeah, put all of that in the past of not being open, and you only can move forward now. And this opened me up so much in the way of just being spiritual and being kinder, and then allowing gifts to come my way as far as like good. When you give out good, you're only more able to receive it. So it's just,
I believe that.
See.
I believe that, sometimes I notice when people in life where they're always having negative things happening, and I mean, not, your occasional stuff that happens.
Might fall down the staircase.
No, I mean, that happens. I mean, things happen but it's how you deal with it, basically. And some people, it seems like they're always in such a negative space that it's like it keeps them there. They're always having I don't want to say bad things happen, but they're always having mishaps, like some weird mishaps all the
Or
time.
attracting.
Exactly.
Attracting.
So I feel that the positive energy and the happiness and spirituality and love and all that, as long as you can, hold on to that, it's going to give you a better, more positive experience and a better life. And, hey, nobody's always positive and happy. Sometimes you have your ups and downs. Everybody does. But as long as you can try to pull yourself back positive and just doing the best you can and not, like, shaming yourself. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to do the best positive thing that you can. And believe me, we've all been through our negative crud in life. I mean, I've been through negative crud. But I've learned that, if you can be positive and happy and treat people well, you get a better response in life in general. That's just what I think,
Oh, yes, the law of attraction, the universe, it's also powerful. So if it's so powerful, we are a part of that. So why not tap into that? And we manifest. Yesterday, she talked a lot about manifestation. I love that. She's like, well, why not manifest the good stuff? If we're thinking always about the bad stuff, then we're going to attract the bad stuff. It's just the law of attraction. So good. And even people like you, because Donna, you are one of the most positive people I know. So sweet, so kind, so nice. I've known you for so many years. But it's always good to work on ourselves, even if we feel good. Still work. Still get our chakras clean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you had mentioned fear earlier, and I'm really glad that you're not one of those people that lets fear drive your bus, because there are people that are stuck like that, and then they wonder why there's more things that they're afraid of, and it's because they can't let go.
Yeah, I mean, I just, it's like there have been a lot of things in life that I've been, I haven't been exactly, that I've been fearful of, but I just pummel through it and I just forget about it. I don't know exactly how I deal with it, but I just, like, for example, when I was first learning how to ski when I was a kid, at first I was really scared, and I think they had to carry me down the hill because I was so scared. But then I don't even remember how it happened, but I just went back up there and I went down the hill, and then I started going down the more steep, I started forcing myself to go down these big mogully mountains at some point, and I just did it. I just said I can do it because it was kind of a fear that I wanted to conquer. And that's how I try to push myself forward, because if there's something that I'm afraid of, then I can just say, okay, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. Well, let's just, swallow it all up and just embrace it and move forward and, get it done. Get it done, get it done, get it done.
Yes. Because a lot of people in other kinds of fears, like, for example, sports, activities, yes, but what about a fear of calling somebody that you haven't talked to for so long, or, going for a dream that you've always had, or because you're afraid of what people will think, you're afraid of what they're going to say. And we need to conquer those too, because otherwise we're just at a standstill and we're doing nothing and we're not moving forward. So fear is a huge thing to conquer.
Yeah,
you are right. As a matter of fact, when you're fearful of something, that's when you should really go for it. Like some people are fearful of writing, and they don't think they can do that. Or you're fearful of like talking, like you said, talking to somebody. Why are you fearful of talking to somebody? I mean, they're just another human being. They're no better than you. They're just a person, and they have their own insecurities. Everybody does. So why not just pick up the phone, the text, the whatever, and just say what you want to say? And,
Yes.
hey, the worst thing that can happen is they say, well, I don't want to talk to you, or they don't talk to you. But then you know who they are and that you're wasting your time on them if you don't get a favorable. But 9 times out of 10, unless you've done something horrible to the person, or or maybe sometimes the person is dysfunctional, or they have their own problems. But usually, if you reach out to somebody, people want to engage in that social intercourse. People want to connect with other people. So even if it is just to connect in whatever way you can or want to, you shouldn't be fearful of talking to anybody.
Well, thank you, because I really needed to hear that. Yes, and she is an intuitive, wonderful human being, Donna. I have been fearful of that because I have the GoFundMe page up, and I have special friends that I haven't talked to for so long, and I'm fearful of calling them, even though that they probably love me, even though they haven't heard from me. I feel like, okay, well, I'm asking for something, so I put it off. But later down the road, a few years down the road, they might say, well, why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you let me know? So I just need to put all of that out of my head. And I have fear like this with other little tiny things too. So I need to get over that and just pick up the phone like you said.
Yeah.
And, what do they say? Oh, I can't, help you right now. Or
you can just, the worst thing they can say is, no, I can't do it. But you just say, I'm just, you're not obligated to or anything, but I'm just asking because I need it right now. So just put it out there. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because there's lots of people out there that and you just never know what, even if it's a little bit. I mean, even if they can give a little bit.
A little bit. I have 19,000 Instagram followers. It's almost 20,000. If every single one of them gave $1, I would be like fine. I wouldn't be worried about all those missed jobs I had this last life. But but they're embarrassed to give such a little amount. But it all adds up. And you know what? They don't even have to go on. They can go on anonymous. Nobody even knows. But that's just one little example. I want to give another bigger example. When I was competing ballroom dance, your fear can sometimes paralyze you, or your fear you could turn, or you could have the kind of fear that you turn into amazing energy and can make you sharp, which is called adrenaline. And I would think of something. So these are exercises that we can research and look up. My little exercise I made up by myself was, when I would get into dance position, I would always picture myself like as small as a sand pebble, tiny sand granule. I would think I'm that small compared to the universe. And then for some reason, the pressure just lifted off of me, and I looked at something in a perspective instead of feeling like, oh, this is overwhelming. I saw it in the perspective that it really was, and I was able to let that go off of my shoulders, and I was able to enjoy it. And so these are little things. Yes, this is what I thought of every single time. And I also, because I'm a Christian like Kelly, and so I would always say a little prayer too, like, Jesus, dance with me, be here, dancing with us. And that would give me comfort too. So there's a lot of little things you could do and play with your mind, because your mind is so powerful and it listens to you. It only knows what you are telling it, really. So, if somebody says something to you negatively, it is like what Donna said. It's how you react to it. If you react negatively back, then where did you get? Nowhere. If you take that in and, don't let it bother you or react in a positive way, that's what we're trying to do here. We want to make the universe, we want to make the world a better place. So we do it day by day. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
one person at a time.
Yeah, that was put very beautifully.
Oh, thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome. And I know, like, that could have, you could have swam in that fear and then have that paralyze you, you know, but you were able to stare it down and put it into perspective so you could go on and do your best instead of feeling the pressure and feeling all the eyes on you and, and stumbling, like a lot of people would. So
I
that's
have a
really
question
beautiful.
for Donna. I have a question for Donna.
Thank you.
Do you know
Yes?
anybody that you think would want a chakra day?
I possibly do, but I want to ask, I'd like to ask first before I, say. But yes, I do.
Okay,
I know a few people that would love
great.
to do that.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, this has been a very powerful program here today, just talking about fears and like fear of contacting people and even if you maybe say every penny helps or every dollar helps, it means
sweet.
a lot.
Yeah.
Or you could say like if you can't help with money, then prayers would be appreciated, or sending positive vibes is appreciated.
Or spreading the word. Spreading the word is like very helpful. Yes.
Yeah, encouragement is huge, So I know it doesn't pay the bill, but it can definitely send positivity your way, and then good things happen. So if people can't participate, then financially, then they can at least feel empowered to help you in a different way.
And thank you. I just feel like
You're welcome.
sometimes, like, if I call the person that I haven't talked to forever and ask for something, what is wrong with me? Shouldn't I be calling people all the time? But then I just don't have time to call everybody all the time. I really only have that much energy in the day. So do you think somebody would think that?
If they do, then
somebody, they would think that.
Well, if they do, they're not really your friend. If they think you're only calling to ask for something, to me, if I was your friend and I hadn't heard in a long time, and then oh gosh, there was an accident, I'd feel bad if you didn't, call and let me help in some way.
Yes. Thank you. And then another thing, what Donna said about writing. I think there are a lot of people out there who are afraid to write because they think they feel good, like they have a talent for writing, but they feel afraid to do it because of what other people might think about their writing.
Yes, and even if they don't have a talent for writing, they can develop a talent for writing. I mean, all it is putting your words down on paper. And you can start out by writing little notes, just like think in pieces and what you want to say. And then you can like craft it into, it's like an art piece. You just keep on rewording it, changing it, and then finally you have exactly what you want to say.
Wow, have you done that? Did you start out that way, or
yes? Well, what happened was when I have a creative imagination, but I was not. I would say I was not a very well. I don't know if I was. I don't think I was a great writer, but then at a certain point, somebody sat down and they showed me what to do, and it was very simple. Just sit down there and put some words on there, and then they showed me how to create and get my thoughts together, and also I read different material that helped me. I mean, you can go online and read, how to write an essay or whatever it is, and I just somehow in school I was afraid, but I did learn how to do it, and if I can learn how to do it, then anybody can learn how to do it, I would say. Even if you're of average intelligence, everybody wants to think that they're a little bit more than average intelligence anyway. But I would say pretty much anybody can write something, and even if you're not the best writer on the planet, you can get to be a good writer to the point where people can understand your words and where people can understand what you're trying to say. A lot of things that I do when I write is describe things, and that really helps. If you can think about the descriptions and put the descriptions of what you want to say, it helps. And it just takes a little bit of time and effort. And then, if you have a natural talent, that's all the better. But you can learn how to write, and you can write well. And in this day and age, people like me who are crappy spellers, I hate to say, but it's like I really have to think about spelling. I can spell fine, but sometimes I'm not the greatest speller. But thank God for spell check. I mean, there are so many different programs and things that help. And sometimes I just think faster. My mind works faster than my writing abilities anyway. So
go back later, because the spelling thing, you get stuck on, how do you spell that? That can stop up your flow of what you want to get down on paper. So you could always go back later. And then there's other people, too, that could help co-write and fine-tune it that way. But I just feel like there's so many people's stories that aren't being told because of fear.
Yes, I agree. And that's sad, because there are so many people that have great stories. Like my mom was telling me, she tells me all these great stories. I'm like, Mom, why don't you write it down? She's like, no, I can't write. So it's like, Mom, you just talk into a tape recorder and then have someone help you. Anything, you just have to get the story out. Whatever the story is, you take notes and get it out.
Yes, and I ran across something, too, that you can pay. A company is doing this now. It's really expensive at this time. But you work with a professional writer. You give them your stories. They fine-tune it. You give them all your photographs. And they'll do, you'll have a book for about $1,000. I ran across this the other day, because my dad is writing right now all of his stories from being a bush pilot in Alaska, and they're very good, and he's glowing, and I want to help him. So, I want to write a book someday, and I'm sure Kelly does want to, too. So,
yeah,
this is enlightening, just talking with the four of us. Today is good.
Yeah.
This has been good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelly, I think you could write a great book about what you know best about the chakras. I mean, I know they have books about that, but you can write your own experiences and things that you do to
Actually, my father just bought me a book. He's brought me a book in order to the mail. And he said that, I bought you a book. And I said, well, that's fine, Dad. If I buy you a book on chakras, will you read it? I said, I'll probably read it, but we all know who the expert is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Aww.
And it's great because we have this library of podcasts that you can always refer to.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
We have all of our podcasts that Kelly can always refer to, all of her chakra readings right there online. She can refer to that. She doesn't have to go rifling through any papers to find material.
Yeah, you could have fun doing that. Do you look, when you see chakras, do you see colors?
Sometimes. It's mostly a feeling, and then I start to get visions, and sometimes it's almost like looking at a movie. But a lot of times, it's like my impressions of what's going on in that specific area. Sometimes I can feel if somebody's got a bad stomach ache, and I can be like, your stomach acting up? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, you might. So I'll tell them, you might want to go to the doctor about that, because, I don't want to diagnose anything. But if it seems off, then I'll tell them.
How long have you had this talent?
For a few years, but I didn't start doing the show until September of last year, because I was brought up in the thing where you just don't do this kind of thing. You don't talk about it. We don't know where the gift comes from. So, And
Kelly, I always tell the story about how you got on the show. Why don't you tell the story about how you got on the show?
Oh, you do it better.
No, you do it this time.
Oh, you're putting me on the okay. You put me on the spot. No. Well, my friend Tim, who showed me how to do this, the licensed massage therapist, he and I both did. I would tell Johnny what was happening, what Tim was doing, and what chakra and what it meant when Tim was cleaning. Johnny's chakras, and it was funny because Tim would start coughing really bad when he got into certain ones, and there was a lot of negative energy. And then it was like after he was done, he had these seizures, and it's like, oh my gosh, how bad was this energy? I could feel it. It was like things that must have been trapped there for quite some time. And yeah, it was quite the experience.
That's intense. Wow.
Yeah. So he was like, would you ever want to do this on my show? I'm like, really?
Did you know what you were doing when you were doing it?
Yeah, I was kind of nervous about the first time being on the show because I was used to doing this with Tim, and then to do that without him, I was like, can I do it all by myself? I guess I'll find out, And I had done some with people in person by myself, but not over a radio show. I was like, can I do this remotely? And, but I had done it remotely with Johnny. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. And it's like, the more the show continues, the more momentum it's gaining, the more I'm learning about myself, the more I'm learning about how to develop this and some other skills. And the more we have psychics on and people that I'm doing
and don't
this
forget
with.
to tell them about the first time you came to me after the first show asking to
Oh, God. Yeah, I was like, I noticed that you called me your co-host. Does that mean you want me on your show tomorrow?
I did. I said yes. To be honest, I was worried it was an inconvenience for her to be a co-host on every show. I didn't know it was something that she actually, and then she says, well, when you come your co-host, I did a little happy dance. And I was like, happy dance? You really loved it? And I'm like, yes. And I was like, okay, fine. I mean, she can, go be the co-host. It's I think what it is that, it's fun to bounce off of someone rather than just you be the only one that's talking, I mean,
oh, yeah.
I mean, when she started, and I think with Barbara, here's the story with Barbara. I told her, well, we're going to be having a pet psychic on tomorrow. And you said, oh, my God, you got to let me do this.
My friend, it was crazy, Donna. My friend was just telling me about her dog that everybody loves, and I love so much. And it's like things like this with this show happen all the time. Like they'll say something, and it will be the universe working together. And we came together, my girlfriend's from Seattle, and they had 2 more people on the show, and it just helped her so much. Her dog, they told her dog was going to die that weekend, and now, since she got her chakras cleansed, then later we had a psychic on, and it's because the regular psychic canceled that we had the pet psychic, and I called her last minute, and she was available. Oh, my goodness. And now the dog has 6 months to live, just with the positive energy flow in the home.
Wow.
You mean last night the dog says that they told her that she... Well, I found it hard to believe that dog was on death's door. It doesn't sound like this was a dog on death's door. They say that when a dog is on death's door, they're usually quiet. They're sitting off in a corner. They're looking at the ground. It sounds like this dog was...
Yeah, it was on death, but it changed when she got her chakra reading. It started to run for the first time, Jonathan. It was sick and deathly, and it started to run. Kelly healed her and healed the dog.
Aw,
why are you
I'm so
downplaying
glad.
this? I don't understand. Why are you downplaying it? Robin,
Maybe?
she was very spiritual. She has, like my friend Robin, who owned the dog, she was a very spiritual person already working with a lot of this, knowledgeable about all of this. So she knew. She goes, I thought I would be bored in 10 minutes when Kelly was, she didn't know Kelly. And she goes, I've had so many of these. And she's like, this is the first time that it's been spot on that I've ever received. So,
wait,
that could
Kelly was the one that did the chakra cleansing on the dog?
No, but on my friend first. Did the chakra cleansing first on my friend. And then when we had the psychic, then my friend called in and talked to the psychics. But it was all kind of something that works together. I'm saying that when you get the chakras healed, you're more open to the psychic. So it's kind of like a circle of life. And it really works together.
I would like to say a little bit about what happened when I first had my chakras done by them. You didn't tell this part of the story. So I'm going to go ahead and tell. This is why I look at it as kind of like, what? I told them that I was having money problems, and that I go out walking the next day, and this van pulls up. Out comes this lady. This lady walks up to me. She goes, you look like you can use some extra money. Here. And she hands me $3. And I'm thinking to myself, well, first of all, this doesn't make any sense, because I believe in being nice to people, but I don't think you should be nice to people when it's dangerous, and handing money to complete strangers on the street is not exactly safe. Yeah. So I call home, and I said, Kelly, I told her what happened. And there was something about her that reminded me of my grandmother. Not like grandmother at 80, but grandmother at like 40 or 50. Is that a puppy in the background?
It's my rat.
Oh.
His name is Charlie, and he's actually feeling a little bit like he needs his chakras cleaned. I think he's got a little bit of a chest cold. That's why you can hear him.
Oh, and they, right, Kelly? They do the chakras on animals, or is it that just psychic?
I think I can do it on animals. I've been told that I can. I just haven't had the opportunity. So, yeah, I bet I could.
Kelly,
open up a whole avenue.
Future date, we will do that.
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been able to read them in person, and like I could tell, which animals have had like traumatic experiences, and I've been shown what they are, and they'll tell me, my foot really hurts, or something. So yeah, I haven't done it like remotely, but I bet I could, because I can do that with people.
Wow.
Well, in addition to the show, that would be good, because like we were saying, Donna, people love their animals more than humans. And so when we do the animal days, it's like very powerful. It's very interesting for so many people. Yeah, they love it. We get more calls on that, right? Don't we, Jonathan? We get more calls on the animal days than ever.
Oh, God, yes. Animal days are like huge.
And how I see them are like this pure being, this pure unconditional love. I see them like a human because they have, feelings, and they're cognizant of what's happening, and we all have vibrational energy. But like they're maybe a step closer to angels because they don't have bias, they don't have ego, they don't have, a lot of the same. They don't have the same prejudice, and even when we say that we're not prejudiced, we're still judging, and animals don't do that. They don't have the ego to check at the door. They just don't they plain just don't have one. They don't have like an agenda.
Because they can sense. They have a sixth sense, which they need, because they don't have that. Their sixth sense, they already know, like who's good, who's bad, what danger is. You know what I mean? They can feel. Is off. They just know, right, babies? Kitties and all animals.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I know if I ever meet somebody that my animals don't like, there's a reason. And
You're
I
right
should probably
about that.
steer clear. Yeah,
Or
they're a
because
great judge of
and
character.
it's annoying. It could be a little kid that is like annoying it or something where it might nip them. But generally, I had this one. I don't want to say who. Okay, this person I knew, and they were bad inside. They had, they were major drug addicts. They were nasty. They were bad, and I knew this person, and this dog was so nice to everybody. And when that person found to pet that dog, it just bit him on his lip. Really
Wow.
bad. Yeah, it felt it. It felt that person's energy, and it did not like it.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible.
Wow, you guys had a big reaction on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Donna,
like.
would you like to come back again? Say if we have.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. If you guys want me, I'll come.
Well, yeah.
You've been a great guest.
I'd love to come on. It's so much fun.
Oh, good. Thank you. Glad to have you. This was great.
I got chills. That means that the angels are dancing around me.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
You'll start to get more in tune, too, if you keep doing this work and spiritual growth. And I'm going to try to work on my meditation because that's one thing I have a hard time with. It's hard for me to get all of everything out of my head because I feel like that might be impossible. But I want to try because, Kelly, isn't that true that if you do meditate every day, that your wishes, your manifestations come to you much more quickly?
Yeah, and I find prayer helps a lot too.
Okay.
And prayer can be a form of meditation.
Okay, but what if you just are like me and you're like, I do it in my head, like, dear Jesus, help this person to be safe today. Keep, watch over them in Jesus' name. I pray, amen. I do it like that fast. Is that like a form of meditation?
Yeah, that can be. I mean, meditations don't have to be a certain length of time, but you can build on that. You can, start reciting, like sometimes what I do is I'll take the Bible and I'll just flip to a page like randomly and it'll have something on that page that I needed to hear that day.
Me too.
Or
I
it's
do
an
that
answer
all the
to
time.
a problem.
I love that. Oh, yeah, I do that too. That's a little trick. I love doing that. That's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a form of meditation.
Okay, so I guess I do, and I didn't know it. I am doing a form of it. But I want to do the kind where you sit there, you cross your legs, you have calm music, nice, calm atmosphere. You take deep breaths. You really try to get all the thoughts out of your head. You clear it. And I hear that does wonders for a person, and I'm going to try it.
And you know what other way
I've heard
is if you drive your car, like if you're listening to music in your car and you're just driving, and you just sometimes your mind goes off, like you're driving and you're safe, but your mind, something happens sometimes when you're driving.
Yeah, you just kind of zone. I call it zoning out. So is that a form of meditation? Just like when you zone out.
There can be. There's also mindfulness practices. I would look up mindfulness because you can do mindfulness just with taking like a piece of food in your mouth and not chewing it right away. Just, noticing before you put it in your mouth what it smells like, what it looks like, what the texture is. Putting it in your mouth, how does it feel on your tongue? Is it melting? And then, keep going from there, noticing different details until you finally chew it up and swallow it. But that's like 10 minutes later because you're noticing everything about it, using all your senses.
Okay, because I was talking to Robin, who was a friend guest on the show, too, and I was just texting her today saying that I want to try meditation more, and she said you should look it up, like you're saying, and, not just try it all by yourself. And so these are little exercises that we could do, and it's so good that this show's going long, and it's interesting because all these little tiny things, they add up to a really great being.
You know what? Another thing is good. Like, say you have goals, for example, you can make a box, like take a shoebox or a big box, and you can get pictures of your goals. Like let's say it's you, for example, you want to have an SUV, and you find the SUV you want. It's like, and you can even think, okay, I want a green SUV with white interior, whatever it is, and you fold it up and you put it in there, and it's like a wish box kind of, and you focus your energies, and you could put other things in there. Say if you want a nice relationship, a home, or something.
That's fun. I want to do that. I do want to do that.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? That's very fun. Because you're
that's cool.
Tangible. Instead of just thoughts, it's a tangible thing, too, where you can feel it and see it and look at it. Wow, that is a great idea. And also people
and you just
manifest people, like relationships.
Yes, and you just and write things and put them in there, and then you can get it. You can look at it, a year later and see what's transformed. Usually, when you want something, like let's say you want to get an A on a you want to do well on some test, or you want to be successful at something. You have to put your focus in your mind and your positive energy, knowing that you can do this, because you can do whatever you put your mind to doing. And so this way to focus, taking your wishes and putting it in the box, and then your mind, in your deep mind, it focuses on it. It's a way to focus that energy onto your goals you want to do in the future.
That's
very
a very good point. It's
almost like a meditation too, and then every once in a while you think about it, and you just keep on going. It's like eating an elephant. You have to eat it one bite at a time, and sometimes I think the energy that you put out there, your opportunities will come, and you can choose the opportunities. So it's kind of like a little maze of okay, first step, second step, third step, and then finally it's like, oh my gosh, Uncle Jerry left me, an SUV, or something like that,
It's crazy how that works. And I think as children we do learn little things like this to do. Like I used to love doing collages, and the teacher would have us cut out our favorite things in magazines and paste it to a paper. I mean, we were attracting those things to ourselves. And then you get older and you don't do those things. So Donna, as an adult, telling us that this shoebox thing, I would never have ever done that again in my life, something like that. But now, her telling us about it, I feel like, why not? I have a new life coming up. I'm moving to a new place. I have dreams of where I want to, what my place looks like and what my life is going to be like there, and my new career there. Besides the show, I can do that anywhere I am. But, I want to do some more of this work and see what happens.
Yes, and
absolutely.
The more details, the more you imagine, and the more details you put into your wishes. You have to imagine yourself there. So let's say Barb, you have an idea. Okay, I want to live on the beach. There's a window, and I can see the ocean. You have all this thing, and my room is a big room, and I have a beautiful, I have enough space for clothes, and you see what it looks like. Like you make all these little details, and it helps that energy that you put into the thoughts of what it is that you want, in your positive ideas, and actually believing that you're actually living in that place. You're living there will help you manifest the whole shebang. That's that's what I believe anyway.
Yes, and that's how it really works. But we let these little worries creep in, and that interrupts our manifestation. Our little worries about money and just finances and how. Well, let's try not to do that, everybody. Let's try to keep only positive thoughts. Like we already are. I heard already have it. Already are living there. That's what you are supposed to put into your brain, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That you're actually, you don't say, oh, I'm going to have this someday. You say, I have this. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. I'm successful, I'm successful, I'm successful. What are all the things that you're doing for a successful life? Oh, I'm driving, whatever kind of car you believe is successful. What are you doing? I'm going on trips to these exotic places. I mean, whatever it is you want to do. I mean, it's different for everybody, obviously, but whatever it is that makes you happy, and maybe it's developing a building for the homeless. Who knows? It
right, or maybe it's like manifesting your life partner, your soulmate, and you connect because that person's manifesting you. And if you're not manifesting them back, they're going to have a half of a lifetime finding you, more time to find you than really that could have been if you were spiritually tapped in. So that's good for us when we have people on, and they always ask the psychic, oh, what do you see in my, in the future with my love life? And then after they get their reading, we should tell them, now you have to be open yourself up and start manifesting what you want. Like write down the characteristics in a significant other that you would like. Write all those down on paper. Look at it. Put it on the refrigerator. Cut out magazine pictures of your, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, right? And you can manifest it.
Yeah. And one thing I've noticed too is if you don't list, if you don't put it like I don't want, because the universe doesn't hear the don't part. You're focusing on that thing. So, let's say you don't want a drug addict or an alcoholic for your future mate, understandably. You're not going to, put down he is not an alcoholic. You're going to put down he lives a healthy lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
So that it's
and then they're wondering, well, I don't want one. I don't want an alcoholic, and all I get is alcoholics, because you're always putting that into the universe. Yeah, those are little things. That's correct.
They interviewed Mother Teresa. And she said, don't send me to an anti-war rally. Just invite me to the pro-peace ones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I remember that on the news. I do remember that. Yes. Uh-huh.
Because she knew that the anti-war rallies were just going to...
They're just people putting out a bunch of anger, it's just a bunch of negative stuff. I mean, if we focused on positive things, I mean, everybody did one little nice deed for a person or a being and tried to do positive things and forget about what we weren't doing right, just try to do as much good stuff as possible, our world would be a lot better place. And then instead of, I don't want to bring up politics, but I'm going to just say this. If all of the people complaining about everything that's wrong with everything else would just say, hey, this is what I'm doing right. This is what we can do right, and let's, volunteer. Okay, you think you want to help this, that, or the other thing. Okay, well, why don't you give some of your money and do this, or find a solution, a positive solution, so that this can happen, or come up with an idea that's positive that will help make things different instead of pointing the finger about people that are not, the right and the left and this and that. There has to be solutions not pointing the finger about all these things that are really just, they don't do anything to help us. They just don't. They just
yes, that makes a lot of sense. So we shouldn't just say neutral. We could call it neutral. We could call it our positive neutral stance of just, well, I'll talk about it if it's a positive thing to talk about. Otherwise, it can get to you of people arguing over politics, and it is really dividing people up.
Yeah,
that's a good thing to think about. What was that?
But anyway, I think overall people just we all want to have the same thing. We want to have a safe, peaceful, comfortable life where our kids, if we have kids, are safe as well, and they're learning and healthy and all that kind of stuff, and productive. And I think that goes for everybody in every single country and walk of life. I don't know anybody, or I can't imagine anybody who wants to be out there in the front lines, doing stuff that isn't positive. I mean, there are those out there that are twisted, but for the most
people out there,
all people want.
Yes. So
Yeah.
From little things to very broad, bigger things, it's the same principle. Positive thinking, positive vibes. Hashtag positive vibes. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that one.
Yeah.
I use that one a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Taking action.
Donna. Wow. We learn a lot from our guests that come on, and you have been really knowledgeable and helpful, and our listeners, I'm sure, really enjoyed you as well. And we can't wait to have you back maybe for a psychic reading.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody
All
loves
right.
those. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Are we ending the show
Bye-bye.
now?
See you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.